No, money hasn't necessarily been a challenge. It's just as far as the spiritual growth and the things that I've went through. You
Okay.
explaining the past lives, that makes sense.
Okay. So let's talk about what it is that you do spiritually, and what is it that you see in your spiritual growth.
Okay, well, I've been on my journey for a while. I visited Shasta a couple times.
Hmm.
I do my sun gazing. I connect to crystals. Um,
Hmm.
it's pretty much been a learning experience. This lifetime is I've learned a lot. So
Hmm.
my main thing is just figuring out my purpose, my true purpose.
Okay. So you have children?
No, no children.
Do you want children?
Not necessarily the way that the world is. Not right now.
Not right now, but that
Not
doesn't
right
mean
now.
never.
It doesn't mean never.
Okay. Ask your body, does your body want children?
I feel maternal at times, but the
Okay.
things that I see going on in the world, I can't unleash that maternal spirit yet.
Okay. So that's just something you need to work on. That doesn't
Yes.
mean you need to throw all of your effort into. Once
Uh-huh.
a month, when you go through a review of, hey, what does my bigger growth mean? And if
Hmm.
every month, not having children comes up, you got to spend a little bit more effort and helping the side of you that's being maternal, because what it's
Hmm.
going to do is start wasting dream space. It's going to start giving you dreams of potentially having children instead of creating forward growth in your spirituality.
Okay, understood.
It's like just letting the unseen world know that the I am has intentions to not get pregnant. Okay? That is,
Yes.
okay? Okay? It's very important
Okay.
that you express that will. And that can go to any other women that are out there. If you're at a state where your body is telling you have children, that biological clock is ticking, the biological imperative, you can redirect it so you can have much more of an intense spiritual experience.
Okay. Okay. Um, I'm gonna keep this short. Okay, one more question I
Okay?
have. Do you sense
Sure.
any energies around me that are attempting to assist me with this process, whatever it may be?
Oh, you have scores and scores and scores of them, more than I could even begin to explain to you.
Okay.
I'll be blunt. This is more of their type of message. You really only put your toe in the water of what you can do spiritually, and until you're
Okay.
ready to commit at a larger level, and then take on the fact that certain people are going to be poo-pooing you, who you need to have approval from,
Uh-huh.
and until you really get over that, your adventure into your reality is going to be challenged with, do I put the toe in the water? Do I put the toe in the water? Okay, I'm going to sit there and dangle my ankles in, but you're really not in the pool.
Yes.
Okay?
I,
So
I
when you go
feel
to the swimming pool, you got to swim.
yes, yes. I feel as though I've
So
tried to put myself out there in the space that you're referring to, but there
sure,
and I've
but
done your
that's only going to the pool once or twice. That's not going to the pool, all year round.
yeah, I understand. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I understand.
And this metaphor is, if you're going to be in the spiritual world, you got to do it so it becomes a daily journey. And at the end of the year, it's your yearly journey that you dedicated, regular space to look backwards and what did I do? What did I
Yes.
succeed in? And you got to
Yes.
be able to willing to use hindsight on your spirituality. Like, what are the last 5 really big spiritual things you've done?
Mm?
What are the last 5 really big spiritual things you've done?
Well, I considered going to Shasta really big. I visited there about
Okay.
2 months ago, and then
Mm-hmm.
I traveled
What have
across
what have you done in those last 2 months spiritually wise to add up to the concept?
just working on my chakras and my balancing and doing Reiki and
Mm-hmm.
meditation and
Are you
just
chronicling your journey?
yes.
Okay. It's time for you to go back and look at your chronicles, look at the daily practices you've done, and actually do a real time audit.
Okay.
Okay. Just
Okay.
as if you were having an employee that you're paying $200 an hour to do work and you're expecting it
Mhm.
all to get done, you have to be willing to nitpick your own time actually spent into the daily practice. and have
Okay.
a running total and balance weekly.
Okay.
And I say this because toe in the water to you feels like halfway there.
Yes, it does.
You wanted to know what it's going to take. You got to immerse yourself in it. And it may
Okay.
only be 1 week of immersion followed up by a new daily practice that reflects, I have to take deeper journeys, meaning maybe it's not practicing 7 days a week, it's practicing 6 days a week so that they're more effective until I'm ready to go back to 7 days a week.
Okay.
Okay. So the discipline of doing some spiritual practice 7 days a week is about, schedule balancing.
Okay.
Because you got to be able to go and do it at the right state of mind. What you may discover as you look back in hindsight that there are certain practices that you do, you get a lot of energy out of them because you are doing them at a time where life or work or whatever isn't affecting you and you wanted to do them. And at other times you had a very short amount of time to go and do those things. You went and did them and rushed them, but didn't get the same amount of energy back out of them.
Yes, understood.
You've got to learn to enter the ceremonial self space at the same volume of energy, same focus. That's why the daily practice is so vital, so that you learn that every time you come back to this space, it's to shine your lights, whether it's doing a contract revocation, a prayer, or a ceremony, a ritual, whatever it is, healing yourself, you're doing it with the focus that is there, that is saying, I'm behind this, and I'm really behind it with my emotional journeys too.
Okay.
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 What do you do? What do you do for a job?
Well, I recently quit my job. I used to work in law enforcement.
As a police officer, or?
I work for the government for Customs and Border Protection.
Wow, that's a tough job.
Yeah, it was. I was with the government for 12 years, and I decided to make a choice to just walk away and figure out what my true path was.
Do you have a little bit of money saved up?
I do.
So my best advice for you is the biggest bang for your healing dollars going forward is go and get a float tank subscription from a company that's like a float company that's around you, so you can go do 4 or 5 floats a month.
Okay.
And if you can have a little bit extra money, buy a package of 10 floats and go do like an hour or 2 a day every day. But what it's going to do is help take out a lot of the. Were you a person that saw hundreds or thousands of people in a day?
Yes.
Yeah, you got to clear that out of you. That's its own trauma.
Okay. Yes, it feels heavy. I know it's something that just feels heavy, and I need to connect.
It is because 1 out of every 300 people has a major ghost in them. Okay. So in any given day, you could probably see, 30 major ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. And on busy days, you could probably see 60 major significant ghosty things.
Yeah, I figured that was why I stay away from people's eyes a lot.
Unfortunately, eyes are the window of the soul, and the government wants you to look them right in the eye, don't they?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
They do.
Absolutely.
Those dicks. All right. So flotation membership, and then have you been having anyone actually do physical body work, getting in there with the hammer and chisel?
I haven't had a massage in a while, but I used to regularly go for those.
Okay, and the person that you went to, did they do deep tissue? Do they do trigger points? You know what it is they specialized in?
Oh no, mine was more so the relaxation.
You need someone that has the elbow of steel, the fingers of steel, and can get in there because your body is retaining a lot of excess energy that isn't yours.
Okay.
And it's from the nature of the job that you did. Not to mention your management, the management that you went through over many years there also left a very big stain on you.
Okay.
They challenged you morally, didn't they? They challenged you morally, didn't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So once you have to go against your morals to maintain a job, that's a stain. And you got to begin the journey of forgiving yourself.
Okay. Okay, one more question. I won't hold you.
Sure.
One more question. Is there a specific energy? Like, I know you said there's a lot of energies there that are willing to assist, but is there like a strong energy that I should try to connect to? Maybe angelic, earth-based?
You're reaching for something that is internal.
Okay.
And I'm going to give you some hints, but these are just hints. They are not the answers.
Okay.
Okay? You went to a job that allowed people in and out of the country, and you had the final word when they were right in front of you. That's the crux of your job, right?
Yes.
The same thing as applying to you and your spiritual journey. Who's going to stamp your papers to let you have a spiritual journey? No one but you.
Yes. Okay.
So when it comes to stamping your own papers, it doesn't matter what you choose. Right now, it's about healing yourself and reconnecting to the woman inside you who did have to challenge her morals for that job. Heal that so that so much more can be revealed to you as a benefit for doing the job, that the universe will pay you back in another way.
Okay.
Okay? Yours
Okay,
right now is connecting to the self. There are bigger things, and I put these as a hint, that potentially, if you decide to put a significant amount of effort behind yourself, you can become a healer, as a variety of other things too. But it's going to be a choice. Do I want to enter that field as a parachute person, not a toe in the water? You know, go jump out of the airplane versus putting your toe in the water.
Okay. That's one
Are
strong
you
thing
ready?
that I say that I'm
You're,
not a healer. I can heal,
everyone's
but
a
I'm not a
everyone's a healer, and it comes in an infinite amount of ways. From a mother singing a song to a child, to a hands-on healer, to a speaker, to the mailman who delivers the lover's letter.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
You
Okay.
just have to know that your essence is healing. And that's why right now, reconnecting to your divine femininehood, reconnecting to the joy of prayer is your journey, is your most important thing for you to do. But it won't last forever.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to learn to have all that stuff pretty shortly. And then you're going to be in a now what stage. Spirit is an ever evolving journey. There are some that, instantly right away know I'm to do this, this, and this. Well, many of them discovered once they've done that, and that, they still want to go out and learn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yes.
You're at a state where you just got to get as much education in as you can. Okay?
Okay.
And getting that education in is where you're going to go through your expansion, where you may discover, you know what, I think I want to try acting, or I want to go and learn a musical instrument. And it's not about having the job or the purpose. It's to do it because you have the time. You worked your ass off for 12 years, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
How many people screamed and yelled at you for no reason?
Many.
Many. Okay. I think you've earned it. I think that you've earned it. Okay. It's okay to be on the no plan for a little bit. It's okay. Just don't put yourself into debt and don't become a airy fairy light worker that spirit will support for support. No, spirit doesn't support if you don't do something. Okay. So you can go out and find yourself a small job that puts a little extra cash in your pocket while you're deciding. Okay.
Okay.
What kind of jobs could you go out that aren't that are easy for you to pick up with the type of experiences you have?
Well, before the government, I was in retail. So I worked basically in customer service. I ended up being a manager of a couple of video stores when I was young, and then I just decided to go into government work. So, I mean, I have a lot of experience. I'm very well versed. I know how to do a lot of different tasks, but I more so want to find something that drives me, that, I can be around people that I enjoy. Okay.
Are you pretty much done with the security? Are you pretty much done with the security industry?
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's a left behind you. What did you learn from this? What did you learn from the security industry?
I learned how to treat people. I learned.
Okay. I'm just going to give a suggestion, and you fly with it. You could write a TSA whistleblowers book of all the stuff that every human being that flies that TSA shouldn't be doing, and you could make your $1 million easy
Yeah.
just from the
Yeah.
anger you experienced. Would you ever cash in on that?
It's a possibility. I would. I've been thinking about writing. I'm very good at writing.
Well,
But it's a lot of
here's the advice.
slack with that.
Here's the advice. Put aside $300, and you just sit and have somebody with you, and you record your 10 best stories, TSA stories. Funny, sad, horrible. This is government doing wrong. This is government doing right. A scathing, good, as many stories as you can tell, and then you have somebody transcribe it into written document for you.
Okay.
By jumping that hurdle of getting, because 3 hours is about 60 to 80 pages, depending on how fast you talk. If you can get 5 hours of conversation, which I'm sure you could if you really just sat back and thought about what it is that you want to, the stories that you want to tell, what you'll discover is you have more than enough for 3 books, probably. Even if it's just tales from the TSA, funny, stupid ass stories. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, how many times you open a bag and see something you didn't want to see?
I'll say many to that too.
Okay. People's imaginations can fill in the blank.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, everyone that's in the chat room right now, if you would like to hear her book or hear some of her stories, I want you to raise your hand. See, you have a lot of people that already. You have to learn to turn that rage against the TSA into an advantage to you.
Yes.
Now, one more thing. You have an outgoing personality that you had before, but once you became a TSA agent, your personality did change. It 100% did.
Yeah.
And you're only now discovering how much it changed and how hard it is to get you back.
Yes. It took a lot.
Okay, so it took a lot. Here's something else. The TSA woman in you is not gone. She's just hiding. You do have to figure out how to let her out as an environment to heal. Okay? It's not like you can set up a line and have your friends and family put their bags in front of you. You're not going to do that. What you can do is take some of these stories and turn them into a stand-up play in which you can act out. Or you can turn it into a stand-up comedy routine. And it's not about you becoming a professional comic. You can go to an open mic night and rock it with some of those stories. How many times your friends laugh their ass off when a dildo story comes up, right?
Yeah, all the time.
Right? All the time.
It's funny that you picked up on TSA too, because I was actually there. I worked there for 4 years prior to going to customs.
Yeah, I know. That's what really put the stain on you.
Yeah,
that's
TSA
that put the stain on you.
Me.
Yeah, I have a client that's very high up in the TSA, and one of our regular conversations is how much extremely negative energy comes at all of the personalities just before high season.
Yeah.
Or Christmas or whatever it's going to be. And then it gets quadruple the evil factor when somebody misses a flight because of weather.
Yeah, but it's basically the same. Customs is pretty much TSA with a gun.
Right. TSA with a gun. That's all it is.
Same job. Yeah, TSA with a gun. That's all customs is. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Same job.
So turn it into a comedy routine. Okay. 25 minutes. I'm sure you can come up with stories and practice them with your friends around you. Okay.
Okay.
And the woman that's the TSA agent will come out on stage. Okay. And then she won't rule your life in secret hiding anymore, because she'll realize, I just got the attention I wanted.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
So it's not feeding the demon, it's overfeeding it and making it fat. So it doesn't do any, so it doesn't do anything.
It can have its own platform and I can release it.
Exactly. And have fun doing it. Okay? And have fun doing it. Okay? So I have to ask, in your years of doing this, what do you think are your top 2 stories?
Oh, they're sad. I don't want to bring everybody's mood down. Okay, I'll tell you one. I ended up having to escort. There was an officer on primary that decided that a family of 5 from Austria was going to be an overstay. So I actually had to escort the family of 5 back to the plane. And it was the saddest thing ever. The little boy was
Mhm.
telling me about, how he was a Boy Scout, and he was telling all of his troop members how he was visiting America. And it was just so sad. It was sad.
Yeah.
But I
It
talked
was
to
it
him.
was your country. It was your country doing wrong.
Yeah, it was my country doing wrong. That's what I felt like.
Okay. Your country doing wrong. Okay. What is something hilarious? What is something that to this day makes you giggle?
Oh, I didn't have too many laughs at that job. There's nothing about that job I can remember. There's so much negativity that
And that's why you
just
have to turn it.
permeates
That's
from
why
it.
you have.
Yeah.
That's why you have to turn it to comedy.
Okay.
That's why, because that's the transmutation journey, is learning how to tell the story like like the story with the kid in the Boy Scout troop. There is a way to turn that funny.
Mm-hmm.
There is a way to turn that funny. That's where your inner personality, the woman who had to stand in for the country, can make it funny. So people truly learn from it.
Okay.
Stories with comedy have a greater imprint on people learning the essence of the story.
Okay. You gave me a lot to think about. Thank you.
You're welcome. You have a great day. Good talking to you.
Good talking to you too, Andrew. Thank you so much.
Okay. You're welcome.
Okay.
All right, Robert. Let's spin that wheel of callers and see who has their hand raised.
We've got a lot of people tonight. Jesse Mouser, you're next with Andrew. You're unmuted. Oh, wait. Whoa. Just cluster.
Jesse, are you there? Jesse, are you there? Hello? Jesse, going once. Going twice. I do not see a Jesse or hear a Jesse.
Yeah, she's off the list now. She, for some reason, her hand went down. Okay, next person will be Simon Clowater.
Simon, are you there?
Andrew, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Where are you calling from today?
Right on. I'm calling from Calgary, Alberta, Canada.
Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Welcome to the show. What did you want to talk about today?
There are so many things that I've thought about asking you, but I've never connected on a call before, so I'm kind of on the spot right now.
Well, first time caller, ring a ding ding.
Yeah. Yeah. How about,
So what did you?
could you just feel like starting off with the reading, and then we can go from there?
Sure. What year were you born?
Born in 1993.
What do you do for a job?
I'm a cook.
How long you been a cook for?
For about 10 years.
Why have you been a cook for 10 years?
That's a good question. Because it's a kind of environment where the dredges of society end up, and I like to kind of be there with those kind of people because they seem to be more wholesome and honest. That's one part of it.
Okay, that's a lie.
Okay.
Keep going. So, what keeps you there for 10 years versus going out and getting a job that doesn't destroy your body, mind, and soul?
I guess I like the fact that there's men and women in a work environment. That keeps things interesting. And
okay.
For a long time I've been really passionate about food. Now it's started to turn into more of just a job, but it was very enjoyable. Like I've heard you say before about how cooking is is one of the last free versions of magic that hasn't been corrupted before.
It's true, except you're a cook, not in your own restaurant doing your own magic. You have a job for 10 years that you may like the people around, but I'm feeling in you're not completed by the job at all and haven't been for a long time.
Yeah.
And
you're right
that is creating a strain on you as a complex being. I should be doing something else. Why? I look at my paycheck at the end of the month and go, oh shit, I worked that hard for that at this age? Come on.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of money in the restaurant industry, even when you're at the owner level. Okay?
Oh no, it's a lot of stress.
Even when you're at the owner, short of having the magic spot where 10,000 people a day come through.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you're selling.
One thing that's kept me there
Tell
has
me-
been the rush,
people
the very, very
And the
fast
people.
pace of it.
Yeah, and then
Say
the
again?
people, and the people,
yes, absolutely.
the employees.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And
100%,
unfortunately, that's the lure of the service industry.
yeah.
You make some really cool friends.
Yeah,
Well, that's the nature of it, because you guys are sharing your cooking war stories.
right.
You remember that rush? Oh yeah, that you suddenly got trust for the dishwasher who could handle a super rush, and you're like,
Right.
yeah, schedule his ass. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you nailed it.
Right. So, what is it that
So,
you really want to do?
What do I really want to do?
Mm-hmm.
I've been getting into tattooing lately. My friend got me into it, and that seems like an interesting career path, kind of a non-traditional thing.
You're going to make about as much money in the restaurant industry in tattooing.
Yeah. So here's one thing about my life is that I'm not very money oriented. I live in a little truck camper, and and I pay about $100 a month for my spot, and I live very minimally. So my employment or whatever I spend my time doing has to be very gainful. You know what I mean?
Well, you chose that,
Yeah.
and now you're reaping what you sow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So when are you ready to plant some new crops?
Right.
Is that why you called? Okay. So
yeah.
First thing first, you didn't do well in high school?
Not really, no. I
Okay.
didn't do poorly. I passed. I was smart enough to like not do the homework, pass the tests, and then keep on going.
So like everyone else there, you're really an A student, but you got your C's.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So you came out an average student. So right now, education is your trauma. Being educated. You're educating yourself in all sorts of other ways. Don't get me wrong. You're still educating yourself. But education is the proper noun, is your trauma right now.
Right. Okay.
Because in the last 10 years, you could have done a variety of things that aren't four-year college that you could have gone and learned that could have made things a lot better. You could have gone a variety of cooking schools, so on and so forth.
Right.
You could have hybrided a magic school and a cooking school and all that.
Right. Right.
But I'm going to tell you, don't give up. Don't give up on cooking just yet. Okay?
Yeah.
Don't give up on cooking just yet.
Yeah.
Now, do you have your own? You live in a little tiny truck. So you don't have any of your own cooks. You live in a little truck. You don't have any of your own cook's tools.
Yeah. Oh no, I have my own tools and stuff. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I actually am doing pretty well financially, considering that I'm a cook. Since I've been living in this, I've been living in this thing for about a year.
Okay, so you've been saving up your money with your $100 a month, putting it out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's time for you to get a space, brother. Time for you to get a space and expand out of that truck.
Right.
Okay. If you want to live in the truck and just go get a mini office space that allows you to do cooking there. I mean, there's not many spaces that are like that, short of you're renting somebody's kitchen. That's why it's best for you to get a house that has a really cool quality kitchen so that you can start creating something there that's still in the cooking industry, because you're not going to put 4 years aside of your life to go and get a degree. And the other things that you can do to help enhance your life are just weekend classes of education.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got some money saved up. Well, the first thing you want to do is de-stress the body from the living conditions it's had to go through for a while. Right. And that's going and getting somebody to do some deep tissue on you, like the other caller. You're stressed out.
Yeah.
How do you cycle down?
I went to my first, I went to some, vibrational therapy for the first time the other day. And that was interesting. Felt good. And fancy massage chair. My goal was just a deep, as a massage, but I ended up getting into that whole vibrational thing. But I'm curious if you can see anything in my how karma relates from my past lives and things like that.
I'll get into that in a second. It's about getting you to understand the choices that have put you where you're at right now. because choices determine what type of karmas I can explain and you might understand and retain.
Okay.
Because there are things that you could have been, example, like if you actually paid attention and studied in science class, right now you could have a PhD and double PhD in physical sciences and be a teacher somewhere.
Right.
You didn't choose to do that.
Exactly.
Could you start that again today? Yes, you could, but you would be starting at phase 1.
Right.
What's science?
Right. Yeah.
What is,
exactly.
are you ready to start at phase 1? No.
No.
No, you're not. You're not going to start at phase 1.
It's better to
So you've already got to start
with
what
cooking.
you have. Exactly.
Yeah.
But here is where you can take other forms of knowledge and wisdom and apply them to cooking. Just like the Japanese have, their samurais had to put down their swords and become chefs. Okay? You can do the same thing, which is putting down your chef's knife and becoming the alchemist of food.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. Okay, the restaurant you work at, does it allow you to add anything to the menu, a chef special?
Oh yeah, I'm actually in a very lucky place as far as the food industry goes. Like, we have weekly specials, and I'm high enough up the hierarchy that like there's my chef and there's my sous chef, and he doesn't have his papers, and then I'm under him. So we have a lot of fun making different foods and coming up with things and all that. I got to make my favorite soup the other day, so that was fun.
What soup?
Yeah, it's a Thai coconut soup or Thai curry soup.
Ooh, I love that stuff. I lived off that for a while. I made it. I kept reusing the bone broth over and over again, getting it more spicy and more spicy.
Yeah.
Okay. What kind of restaurant is it?
It's a golf course.
It's a golf course. Okay.
Private golf course. It was made back in the 60s when nobody would let any of the Jews into any of their golf courses. So they started their own private club, and that's what it was. That's what it is.
Okay. Do they want you to do any ethnic foods, or do they just say cook and create?
There's the whole dance back and forth between what they want, what we're capable of doing, and what's hasn't been done before.
Okay.
But yeah, there's definitely we try to pull from every kind of continent and type of food as much as we can.
Okay. So when you go to create your next thing, you've got to see yourself as the alchemist who is putting on a show. The plate is your stage. Okay?
Yes.
The plate is your stage. The color of the plate will determine the quality of taste even before they bite into it. Okay?
Right.
So you got to start thinking it from plate up. And whatever it is that you're going to construct is obviously going to be based off of what's, foods available, so on and so forth. And then what you and your sous chef are going to put together as a taste factor. Okay.
Right.
So you can do something that can be very minimal in size, but could have all the flavors in the rainbow in 7 bites. This bite is this bite is this bite is this, and start making flavor bombs as an appetizer. Okay. And it's something that, you could put together fast because it's just you all using your spice, knowledge, sweets, etc. So you can have something tart next to something light, next to something this, each having a different crunch factor to them. And again, as an appetizer. Okay.
Right.
Start there and allow your food alchemy and magic to come out there. Obviously, you're going to need to get a home that will greatly help you and a big bed.
Yeah. I actually just got recently installed the sink and the stove into the camper. So that's a step in the right direction.
Yeah. Well, I think you need to go and actually go rent a place. You've got some money.
Yeah.
You need a couch and you need your TV and you need space.
Yeah.
Okay. Can't live in a 4x8 anymore.
Right.
Okay. Now the next thing is you really have to start putting effort into healing your body. I talked to you about doing float tanks before. And for you to do float tanks once a week would be gigantic for your overall physical health. And people are going to be asking you, hey, what are you doing? Why at this age you're able to keep up with the youngins?
Right.
Okay. You're going to reduce your daily swelling like through the roof.
Okay.
And then get a different layer of focus. Okay. So how much money have you saved up for yourself?
About $6,000.
A little bit. So, and that took you a year to save up, right?
Yeah, but I've got a seasonal job, so I'm only working in the summer, right? Since it's a golf course.
So what do you do in the winter?
In the winter last year, I stayed on the golf course actually. I had another job hanging Christmas lights, and had a falling out with that job because I worked more at the golf course. And this year, I'm planning to just go to British Columbia and hang out with my sister there for a while, and might go traveling or something like that too.
It took you a year to save up that money, and you've got a vehicle. Are you going to, what were you intending to do for the winter this year?
I might go to India. That was kind of the plan, or California.
Why India?
Because a friend of mine's going to India. He's like an experienced traveler and such, so I was kind of think it'd be great to tag along with someone who's got, you know, traveler brains that I could, you know what I mean? So I don't get caught in weird situations that I don't want to be in.
I understand that, but why India? Why is it just because somebody else is a traveler?
Not just that. I do like. I heard the history of India about how Pakistan was formed and how India used to be this place where Christians and Muslims and all these different faiths lived together in relative harmony. And then you know the Britons came in and they decided, oh look, there's more Muslims over here and there's more of these people over here, so let's divide this country and create all this division. So I like the idea of the many religions living in harmony. I thought going to India might help me perceive and understand that better.
It won't. It won't.
Okay.
India is a completely different country today as than what was described then.
Right.
All right. It won't do that. If you're going to go there, go for the experience of the cultures.
Yeah.
Okay. You can still visit all the ancient sites. Here's something, you know, if you're really dead set on India and you've got somebody that can really take you to the places, ask them what are the ancient sites to go to, and then do you like spicy food?
Oh yeah, that's totally all right with me.
Like beyond what you normally have, because there's Indian spice which will set you breathe dragon breath fire out your mouth.
Before. You know what Golden is the rating?
Yes,
I've had
I
a
do.
million.
Yeah.
So I've tolerated
yeah, but do you eat it?
Yeah.
Do you eat it on a regular basis?
Not 1 million, that's for sure. But I do eat spicy food on a regular basis.
Yeah, but have you ever had real Indian spicy food?
Yes, I have. I believe.
And
so.
how did it make you sweat? Did it make you sweat?
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely.
You're not going to be able to eat the normal food there. Okay. This is general. This is general information for anyone that's going to go to India. You're still going to have to eat the tourist food. Okay. If you can prepare yourself, let's say you know you're going to be leaving in a couple months, really prepare yourself. You might be able to tolerate the spice in the local food and then the other microorganisms that go along with it.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like a whole different ecosystem within the spicier food is what you're saying? Oh, wow.
Yes. Well, and then the food itself has different stuff, different microorganisms on it.
Right.
So you might, end up getting the tourist trots if you eat the local food really bad. So you've got to consider that the tourist trots, where you basically get diarrhea for a month.
Oh, okay. That sounds unpleasant.
Yeah, you can't hold it. It's horrible. It's horrible.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
It ruins the trip. It really does.
Yeah, I bet.
Okay. So some other suggestions for you. Instead of going to India, that you get yourself an apartment and you go and take some classes like Qigong, Tai Chi, and really spend the winter crafting your body and continuing your work on your spirit. Right now, you need to be in an educational. You need to be in an educational format. Like I said, high school was its own wound for you, and you got to begin to heal that by finding learning you enjoy to do.
Okay.
Yeah, I was right now. You enjoy
as a Jehovah's Witness.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the real trauma or wound is my parents disowned my brother and sister because they were baptized. Mm-hmm. I never got baptized, so that's a whole other can of worms. But
so you're not disowned, but you're shunned.
I was never baptized, so I can still talk to my parents. I'm in the middle. I can talk to my brother and my sister, and I can talk to my father and my mother, but they don't talk to each other.
And how long have they not been talking to each other?
Oh, since probably about 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you want that to change?
I've wanted it to change for a long time, but every time I tried fixing things, I felt like I just made things worse and just kept digging up an open wound. So I stopped trying to fix things and just left them as they were. Because my parents, like, you know what Jehovah's Witnesses are, and they're very,
Yeah, I do. Yes,
they're
I
very
do.
fundamentalist believers. You know what I mean?
Yep. Has anyone been excommunicated?
Yeah, my brother and sister.
So they've been excommunicated also.
Yeah.
So stop the battle.
I haven't.
Yeah. So stop the battle. Stop the battle.
Oh, there's no battle. There's just no communication. There's no relationship between them, and that makes me sad.
That's the battle for you. There is no communication.
Oh. Okay.
That's the battle for you.
Okay.
And stopping that battle isn't an easy one. It just requires confidence that each person is going in the right direction with their own set of choices.
Right.
Okay? In the individual. If mom and dad aren't going to let down, it's because their religion would never validate them and they would lose so much as what is validated for them for their whole life.
Exactly.
And that's okay. You just got to be okay with it.
Yeah.
Okay? There may become a time years from now where things are different. Until then, keep loving your brother and sister. Keep in contact with them. Tell them what mom and dad is up to if they want to hear. Okay? And if they don't want to hear, that's okay too.
Yeah.
But right now, just be the linchpin that keeps everything together.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Okay? Be the linchpin.
Yeah. I have one more question about
Sure.
When I'm in my teens, I met this person. Her name was Kelsey, and for a long time I thought she was like my twin flame or something like this. And I was I had like an obsession with this person. Like, it wasn't healthy. And I was wondering if you have any insights about that.
Were you still in the church during that time?
Maybe for the beginning of it, but not long.
And was she in the church?
No.
Okay. Was she somebody you met in school? What?
In the kitchen, actually. Or by kitchen, I mean
that's
the restaurant.
That is why you are still in the restaurant industry. I knew it. I knew it.
There you go.
I knew it. You're waiting for the next one to come.
Oh, brilliant.
Okay.
Cool.
I know you love your job, man, but you got to grow out of it. You got to grow out of it. Give yourself 2 years, and then either open your own place or food truck, become an owner, or it's time for you to transition into some other career. Don't give it more than 2 years. Okay? Because you're going to waste. You're going to use up too much of your youth. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
For a few thousand restaurant orders. Okay, come on.
Yeah.
Okay, and there's so many other things that you can do. You just have to have confidence that as you're making the transition, that not only will you be good at it, you'll be even better than you ever were before.
Okay.
Cool. Have you ever thought about anything outside of the restaurant that you'd really want to do?
Always liked the idea of being a teacher because of the way I was raised. I was, I used to go to the door to door and teach people about the Bible and stuff, and it just kind of something that was inculcated into me without my even having to know or do it. So, I train these kids at work, and they're doing great. So I feel like I'm not the worst teacher to begin with, but I don't know what I would teach. Maybe yoga. That seems like something I'd be okay with.
Public speaking.
Public speaking, yes.
Public speaking. Public speaking. Okay?
Right.
So something you can go and do is Toastmasters. You ever heard of them?
Okay. Yeah. I've seen that on Meetup. I never really looked into it, though.
Go do it. Just go do it. Cool. You will have a lot of fun having to challenge your mind each week to come up with a toast that is better than the next person's, Mazel tov, whatever. Okay. Okay.
And what's involved in like a toast? Like I get the weddings. It's like, but if people are just showing up to toast, like what are they toasting to?
Well, no, it's people gather together in a group called Toastmasters, and they all practice public speaking a speech or a toast or something every week that gets stronger and stronger.
Okay.
You keep revising it and getting better at your public speaking journey. And they have little smaller meetup groups. Okay? It's a way to practice public speaking. And if you're going to be doing a big engagement around people, you've got to be around other people who got to do the same thing.
Right.
Okay? It's a bunch of people in a room you don't know.
And as you talk about public speaking, do you think you see this as a career choice?
Yes,
or
I think
possible career path that you see with public speaking is, I guess what I'm trying to say.
You could easily do radio and podcasts and have somebody that could sponsor you. You have a face for radio.
Okay.
And the 1 second pause there. Okay.
Yeah, you got me.
Okay. There is a journey in restaurant touring where, the swear factor comes and people are swearing, but they're not swearing at a person. They're swearing at this scenario and how funny that can be. You're right, the situation.
Yeah.
That can be great in modern politics. Okay. It could be, you could make cooks from over the world that you've met, and they're all cooks talking politics, over a chef line. There's some interesting things that you could bring up that could help people see differently. Now, obviously, that's something that would be produced, or if you're going to do like a radio show, it's, you can have, you're the chef cooking up a radio show for you. There's so many
Oh man,
great concepts.
The kitchen is so very, very full of innuendos and sayings, he boiled over, just simmer down, and that times a million, that there is a lot of room for humor in that scenario.
As well as funny ass stories that pop up. And when you're making something that's an FM or AM radio show, you have to have the laugh factor to it. Just like certain foods, if there's not a crunchy factor, they know, what the fuck is this? Same thing. So use your cook line as your sounding board of what's funny, what's interesting, and maybe tell your people that, hey, I'm going to be doing a podcast, and in between our busy times, I may try to tell a story because that puts me on the line. I'm talking to everyone. You all got to listen. Okay.
Yeah.
Did it work? Did it not work? Okay.
Right. Like
because,
Joe Rogan
you could. Right. Like Joe Rogan with wrestling. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. For under $200, you can start your own webcast, and the majority of that money would go into the microphone. Okay.
Okay.
Do you have you have a good computer?
No, not really.
Okay. Why not?
Space.
Living in a truck.
8x6 box. I use the smallest version of everything for sure.
Okay. Well, here's your opportunity to expand. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Interesting.
Most people can actually do a podcast from their phone if you got good Wi-Fi or whatever. Like I'm doing this show from my phone because I'm traveling right now, and it's okay. But people want video. They really do want video. They want to connect to you as the light frequency person that you are too.
Right. Uh-huh.
So you can make a podcast. You can also start finding local radio show stations that don't have anybody on at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay.
I've actually fell in love with the radio station. I've never been a radio person. It always seems so commercialized. And right here in Alberta, there's something called CKUA, and they're donor-supported radio. So it's just so wholesome that they play all that stuff. So that's a great idea as well.
Yeah. Okay. Then there's also community radio too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not the industry of radio itself. It's the voice you have to engage, conversations. Because you could do this all off live radio and record it all. When you do something live, there's another added value to that. And with that, I want to talk to the audience out there, the ones that are in the chat room now. Does the live show make a difference to you guys? Go ahead and write something in the chat. And what about to you? Does the live show make a difference to you?
Oh, absolutely. You could feel the difference of energy when you're listening to a live show as opposed to the recordings that like Andre Hodge puts together. And when I first heard, I'll tell you the story. When I first discovered you, is I decided to just search the words Galactic Historian. It was just popped into my head, and at one point, it was your zany mystic guy who you were talking with, and at one point you said something, and you looked at the screen, and I know this was still a recording, and this is kind of off topic, but you looked at the screen, and you know that sense of realism you get when someone's looking you in the eyes. Like I felt that looking through a screen.
Yep.
Yeah,
I did that on purpose.
Yeah, it seems you did.
I did that on purpose.
Yeah,
I did actually look at all the entire future audience that would be looking in at that moment.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, there's a huge difference between the live shows and the recorded ones.
Okay, so restaurants would be really bad if you had to do it all recorded, would it?
Right. Yeah. Like boxed up food, you mean?
Right.
Like, yeah.
No one would be having any fun in the kitchen, would they?
Yeah, exactly. That's like, that's the bane of the food service industry is that everything's pre-made and it's frozen and you just pull it out and you heat it up and you put it out, right? There's less less of your own like signature frequency, as you like to say, going into the food itself, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. So start your podcast at the restaurant.
Alrighty.
Okay. And maybe that's something that you can figure out technology-wise, where you could actually broadcast from the chef position. I don't think there's any other chefs actually doing that. A podcast live from the chef position. You could be the first restaurant in history
from the kitchen, like mid-service.
Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be video. It doesn't have to be video, but it is very easy to add a video camera rig, like a self-video camera rig that goes on top of your head and has this little like plastic bar that comes off and it puts it right into your face, and you can set cameras everywhere up and the thing. But you would be the first ever live restaurant podcast. Okay.
I love it.
What does that do in the long run? It's just one victory in a line of victories that you have to add up to. Okay.
Right.
How do you make it work though? How do you make it interesting?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever been on any YouTube chats where they have something called Super Chat?
Never heard of it.
All right. Anybody in the audience right now, if you've heard of YouTube Super Chat, go ahead and type into the chat room there. Okay. What Super Chat is, it allows a person to give you a donation right on the spot via the chat. So there are people that are on YouTube that make about $12,000 to $15,000 per show just on donations. Those are the bigger guys. Then they make money on their ads. Like somebody like Joe Rogan's making about $10 million a year just on YouTube ads. Just his ads. Okay? Finding a viewership. Okay? Do you know anyone that's any cooking schools? Hello? Hello? Robert? Did we lose him?
Simon, you're unmuted. For some reason it got muted.
Okay.
Hold on. We have dead air.
Yep. Hello.
All right, Simon or anyone else, if you're unmuting or muting. Simon, hold on. Let me do it.
Can you hear me now?
There we go. There you go.
Yes,
Nope.
we can hear you.
Darn it, he keeps muting. Try it again. Okay.
There we go. I'm back.
There we go.
There we go. All right, how you doing there?
Great, great.
So how much did you hear from me?
You were asking if I knew anyone in cooking school?
Yes.
Right. Okay. So I don't think I know anyone who's in cooking school at the moment.
Do you know any cooking schools themselves? Have you ever been to any?
Not that I've ever been to, no.
Okay. Well, that's something I want you to start exploring. Even if you just start taking day trips in your truck and going and looking at the different cooking schools out there. Okay.
And for what purpose? Is this connected to the podcast thing or more just the cook thing?
It's connected to the podcast, but also to the cook side too.
Okay. Okay.
Because you don't want to be a cook the rest of your life, do you?
No, not really.
Well, what's the next level up? What did Anthony Bourdain show you?
Yeah. Right.
Okay. The world's your kitchen, man.
Yeah.
Just got to be willing to cook in the world. Okay. The world's your kitchen.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're not just cooking food anymore. You're cooking ideas, concepts.
That sounds like a good podcast name right there. The world is your kitchen. I might.
World is your kitchen.
For that one.
There's my gift to you.
Perfect.
Okay. All right, man. The world is your kitchen. Go out and cook.
Yeah. Well, thank you so
All right,
much
brother.
for everything. And,
you're welcome. Take it easy.
Hopefully I'll reconnect again and we'll get into some past life things. But regardless, I greatly appreciate all your advice, and I'll pass the mic off to someone else.
All right. Have a good one, man.
Cheers.
All right, Robert. What time is it? Do we need to take our break? No, let's just keep going, Robert.
Just keep going. All right.
Let's just keep going.
Let's see. Okie dokie. I hear my daughter in the background.
Yes, I do too. Spin that wheel of callers.
Okay, next person will be Jesse Mouser. Jesse, we're going to give you another shot here. And
Jesse, are you there?
the system's acting up tonight. Doot, 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 doot.
Doot, doot.
There you go, Jesse. Are you on?
I am here.
How
Can
you
you hear
doing
me?
today? Where are you? Yes, I can. Where are you calling from?
Hi. Yes, I'm calling from Sonora, California.
Sonora, California. Welcome to the show. What did you want to talk about
Thank
today?
you so much. Okay. Well, I just want to say thank you for having me on the show. I'm really happy to be here and to be talking with you. I would say, since this is my first time calling in, just a general overview of maybe origins, galactic history, family lineage. And I also do have some concerns about my overall health issues going on and current,
Well, let's talk about health. Let's talk about health. It's always best to get it because they almost always relate to what's going on in your greater world. So what's going on there?
I just was semi-diagnosed with Hashimoto's disease. I've always had issues with inflammation, like chronic arthritic sort of pain, and I'm quite young for all of that. I was given
How
the
old are you?
diagnosis of, I'm 33. I was given the diagnosis of interstitial cystitis, which is a bladder disease. And I've developed just like these, like pain attacks, in my chest, the costochondritis. So a lot of inflammation and migraines, among many other things.
How often are the migraines?
Fewer and far between now that, but I literally just did have one the other day and it was a while before that.
Is there any particular stimulus or trigger for the migraines?
Definitely hormonal, definitely food and diet, nutrition. I do have to admit I was on a very strict regimen for a good month or two, and then not only did I kind of fall off that bandwagon, I kind of went straight to the other extreme and just started eating what I knew I shouldn't have been eating. And I knew that had a direct correlation with it as well.
Okay. And what was the food that you were eating that added to that?
It was sugar. It was like donuts, or, I think it was donuts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I haven't
Did you
had a donut
binge,
and I can't even remember. I feel like I feel like it has been a binge, but like a week-long binge of each time.
1 or 2 a day?
Each time I see something I know that hasn't been in my diet or I shouldn't, or that I don't want to have,
Okay.
I'll be like, yeah,
Right.
okay, never
Yeah.
mind. I'll do it today.
That is an internal ghost you've created.
Okay.
Your description of it alone reveals what it is. Something at an early age challenged you with eating sugar and weight. Now, it could have been a TV ad. It could have been your high school health teacher. It could have been mom and dad. It could have been all that combined into one. And what it created is a ghost, something that haunts yourself of, I could do this anytime. It's free will. But it is a temptation in which your discipline has to stand up to. And
Yes.
when you said, you haven't had a donut in a while, well, that was the excuse that the program needed to haunt you.
Oh, yes. I totally recognize that. I even felt it in myself saying, oh, that's that thing I'm supposed to say. No, I can overcome that little voice. And I still went along with the excuse. And then I had a
Okay.
migraine. I said, well, that's my fault. I totally brought this on.
That is a ghost, not a self-created
Oh, gosh.
ghost.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
You gave in on will, and the ghosts that are around you that are just everyday ones, they'll go up the street ones. Oh, look, you're giving me free energy. You're not sovereign right now.
There must be lots of ghosts around me.
No more than anybody else.
Okay.
You must understand, until your light shines very, 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 very bright, the common ghosts are everywhere, and they're there, but they're taking minimal amounts of energy from you unless you are attracting large volumes. And once you draw large volumes, the older ones come and beat up the smaller ones, and there's a hierarchical system.
Mm-hmm.
It's how much light you're producing. Okay?
Right.
So what do you do to produce light? What is it that thrives you in life?
Singing. I love singing and moving and dancing, performing, and I like that.
All stuff that's going to be limited with your diagnoses right now.
Yeah, I was a dance fitness instructor for a short period of time, it was 6 years, and I had to stop because of injury and also because of the chronic pain and flare-ups that would happen, and I just had to totally slow down.
What injuries did you have?
I had a shoulder, like a dislocated shoulder injury, and then I had the bladder thing was becoming intense, and I was go, and I've sort of settled down, and I do qigong, not on as regular basis as I would have hoped, but I do practice that, and I do find that it eases a lot and it helps tremendously.
Have you ever heard of ozone blood therapy?
No, I have not.
So what they do is a lot of dentists do this, and it's a cancer treatment, antibacterial, antiviral. Ozone has some extremely intense properties when it's added to blood plasma. So what they do is they take about a pint of your blood out, then they add ozone to it, and then they put it back into you.
Wow. I am surprised. I've never actually heard of that.
So anyone with Hashimoto's or any other diseases similar, on a regular basis, should go and get ozone blood therapy, simply because it's going to give you quality of life back. It's not going to cure your disease, but it's going to lessen many of the ongoing symptoms that degrade your overall life force. Now, the bladder infection, the bladder scenario, and whatever its diagnosis is, I think can be cleared up with extended ozone therapy, like 5 or 6 sessions, and an extreme nutrition change. I think that much of what you're going through is some form of reaction in your intestinal tract, and microorganisms are being outcreated, and you have the wrong things to digest food, which is creating an ability to not hold water and all these other microorganism things that are going on in your different plumbing parts.
I was currently looking up per one of your videos, and I was, I went on a very strict diet, and I noticed quite a bit of significant change. I was feeling really good about myself, about just general everything. And I also was inspired to check out the Dr. Clark's whole parasite cleanse.
Yep.
And I think that would be a wise step for me to take in that direction.
I would go and do the ozone blood therapy first.
Okay, first.
You need quality of life, but you need quality of life and clarity back first. Okay. The next thing is that's not generally cheap. And if you don't have money to continue that, your alternate choices is hyperbaric chambers. Have you heard about those?
Yes, I've always wanted to do that.
Well, you can buy them on eBay right now. Okay, they're about $6,000. They're not terribly expensive. Those are called mild hyperbaric chambers, meant for people at in-home. Okay?
Okay.
So there are facilities all over the United States where they're called open hyperbaric facilities or open mild hyperbaric, and you can go to get a session between 60 and 70 bucks. Go do some. Go look for the ozone person. And you need a nutritional coach. You do not need a nutrition class. You need a nutritional coach. One that is specific with your diagnoses and what you're going to do and the changes it's going to create, and adjust you of how to cook and how to eat at the right times. Yes, because right now you have a significant issue where you put on muscle mass and then you lose the muscle mass and put on fat. Lose the fat, put on muscle mass. Are you noticing this?
Well, I've noticed that my weight has dropped so much that everyone's noticing, but I'm not feeling healthier because of it. I'm feeling quite sickly.
Right, because you're stuck between making new muscles and sucking up the fat, new muscles and sucking up the fat, but ultimately you're still reducing your overall muscle mass. You still have to get back to work. You have to get back to working out. So
yeah,
your diet,
that's where my hiccup is, because I want to work out desperately, but my body aches.
You can't do it yet. You can't do it yet. It's not there. But what you can do is very, very simple Pilates and yoga stretching, just for suppleness, not for gaining weight, and stretching so that the muscles can detense. Because right now, in this Hashimoto scenario, your fascia, every time you put on muscle, lose the muscle, put on fat, lose the fat, put on muscle, your fascia gets tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter. And you need to go through a full-on myofascial release, top to bottom of the body. And that's immersion therapy for you right now. That's the retreat that we're having in Barbados, October 11th to the 14th would be perfect for you. Because that's all the subtle movements and the healing treatments for that.
Oh.
So, and you get the education to take yourself home. Now, in supplement of you going to the retreat, do you know anyone that is a private tutor for martial arts?
I've been secretly obsessing with this topic, actually. I don't know anyone personally, but my own boyfriend he's a ninja, and he's just a warrior ninja. And sometimes I wonder if he'll train or work with me, but then I kind of want to just go and find something local and just really immerse myself in a group class or personal one-on-one setting.
Is your boyfriend have any other kind of physical therapy background?
No.
Okay, so you're going to need somebody with a physical therapy background, which would help. Okay. Because they have to design something
in a physical therapy office, so I can find people in those circles.
So then you'll understand. You need to design something for somebody who's just recovered from hip surgery.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Because it's your core. It's your core you're going to rebuild. You're going to rebuild your core, but you got to rebuild the distals first. Okay.
Okay. Yes.
So, and you got to adjust the pain factor to being that too. Okay.
Yeah.
So the next thing here for you is you got to figure out how to reduce your overall daily swelling. Okay. Your migraine headaches are from vascular blood changes and swelling. You're retaining a lot of water and the vascular system goes up, or you have no water and the vascular system is expanding to get more water out of the cells.
Mm-hmm.
Which means you're under cyclical stress and you're not really sleeping at all.
No, I'm not.
No.
I feel I'm getting plenty of hours, but I'm not getting a deep sleep.
Right. That means you're still in theta and not in deep delta sleep. Okay?
You're right.
So
Yes.
flotation chambers are key for you. You can get your own and put them in your own home and learn to be in them hours at a day. Okay?
Okay.
You can go to
Wonderful.
zenfloatcompany.com and you'll see something called a float tent for about $3,500. And it's basically a double-walled inflatable tent that you fill with water and salt, and it's got the heating pads like a water bed, and it's yours at home, and only you use it.
Oh my gosh,
Filters, everything, filters built into it.
Wow.
If you can get yourself to do a 90-minute-a-day float, let's say 45 minutes in the morning and 45 minutes in the evening, you will reduce your overall swelling for all of the diagnoses you have by half. But you're not going to go any farther unless you start doing the internal corrections to your chi. Your chi flow from the diagnoses themselves are all in really screwed up order, and your endocrine system is, let's just say, overworked right now.
It feels that way for a while now.
Okay. So are you working at all?
Yes.
What do you do
that was
for a
kind
job?
of my other point of concern. At the moment, I'm currently at a casino as a bingo caller, and there's not a lot of excitement in my voice because it feels like one of the only jobs I've taken out of pure desperation, and I actually don't love being there, and I'm trying to let it work for me and play the game and do what I have to do.
And you
be
don't,
responsible.
you don't want to move. You don't want to move out of Sonora to a places where jobs are much easier to get.
I know. I welcome that idea. Actually, I'm okay with doing that. I'm just in a situation with my relationship where they wouldn't want to or be able to do that at the moment. So it's kind of something in the horizon.
And what does he do? What does he do for a job?
The moment he's sort of helping with a moving company, and he's right now is a stay-at-home musician or artist, but he's just working on himself in that way and taking on whatever other financial things we can do for the time being, because he was working in the cannabis industry, but that's been sort of a up and down road in these parts because of regulations and all of that.
I get it. I understand. I understand the Sonora issue. I'm going to give you the advice is both of you need to move out of that area. It's strangling your capacity to earn money. Okay. The two of you, just with his martial arts experience and your physical therapy, to think and open your own wellness healing center.
That's my
in
dream.
5 minutes. Let's sit down with him and say, let's do it, because he can integrate his music into it too. So mom comes for a wellness treatment while there's the guitar lesson or something. Kids can do the lessons. You know, there's so many things you can do. You just got to be creative together. And starting with the exercise and the workout, and if you're able to get the home float, I mean, obviously that's money invested involved, but well, how about this? Just get out of Sonora first.
Yeah.
Where would you go? Where would you go that you could find good work that you would enjoy doing that gives you money?
Well, there's a place that a psychic once told me I might end up in, and there's a place that my best friend just moved to, and there's a place I'm trying to go visit her, and I've just been drawn back to this place in my mind, even though I've never been there, and it's in Ashland, Oregon. And I feel like, that it would be the right element for me, just based on what I've heard.
It's not.
Okay.
It's not. In the winter, there's absolutely nothing to do. In the summer, you're surrounded by super rich people and Drainbow kids everywhere.
Well, the other options are that my boyfriend's really big into surfing, and that's where his passion and true healing, I feel like, lies. And we're both water elements in that way, like mermaids at heart, where I kind of feel
and now you're in the ocean. So you're all both in the high desert getting yourself water starved.
Yeah, and I keep saying, why don't we move to the ocean? So there's not this constant void where you're like, my life is, and he's not ready to move. So
why?
I wish I knew that. I really think, and I think it's his family. We're really wrapped up in this household. We're all living together. He doesn't want to move because his mom has stage 4 cancer, and he's trying to help in but in many ways it's not helping at all.
Truth comes out.
To me, it's a toxic situation because he's triggered by everything, and he's not.
And you're taking it on, and you're absolutely taking it on too. I can hear it in your voice.
Well, I'm trying really hard to disassociate with compassion.
So just kind of roll with what's going on here. I'm going to try to help you get a lot of decisions made very fast.
Oh God.
So the stage 4 cancer, is she terminal yet, or is it stage 4 and it doesn't look good?
Well, it was she was diagnosed with it being stage 4 terminal, gave her 2 months, but that was over 2 years ago. So
okay, and what is she doing? Is she doing alternate therapy?
She is. She's trying to do alternate therapies, and she's done a lot of different protocols and methods and fasting and all that stuff. I think she's doing great in that regard, but she's it's kind of we never know. It's up and down,
All right. Well, I want you to talk to him about opening not just the wellness center, but a rehab center that uses his skill sets and your skill sets for specialized people, and that you're going to begin to explore that. You want him to be a part of it, but you understand that his mother is doing what she is, and it's tough. Why don't we practice on her and see if he's interested that way? But you're still planning to move in the next 6 months. You personally. If he doesn't go with you, that's his choice. That doesn't stop you from being in a relationship with him either. And you got to make sure that that's understood. Your going doesn't stop the relationship. I just can't survive here. I need better access to jobs.
I feel like I resonate with that statement, but if I was to bring that up to him, his response would be different.
Because he doesn't know how to relax anymore. He has the classic syndrome of watching a person wither away through cancer. It's a trauma, and he hasn't healed from it yet. And it'll be some time before he's able to heal from it. That's his unfortunate state of where he's in. That's his unfortunate state of where he's in. He's got a lot of inner work to do. And then there's other inner work to be done on going forward. Okay?
I agree.
Is his life on hold? He's put it on hold. Okay? And that's his prerogative too, toxic or not. Okay? You can't judge him for making it seem like he may not love you, but he does. But these are choices that are vitally made in his own soul, which should make it easier for you to go. Okay? Now, let's talk job again. Can you do anything in the corporate world?
I feel like I could. I can be pretty sharp in those areas. I've done a lot of like receptionist kind of stuff, and I'm really good with organizing and in that setting I can be. Starting my own, I'm trying to start my own business right now. I'm actually that being that you think it's wise to move, and I do feel the pull to move. I am in the middle of starting some ventures here, and so
like
it's
what?
kind of
like what? Like what?
I have a twin sister, and we just started working at a local farmery or farmers market. And starting this coming month, I'm supposed to be starting with my own space at a holistic healing center, doing tuning fork vibrational therapies and the things alike. And so, you know,
At
we're
a
just
food
trying
court,
to.
at a food market, you're going to be doing healing.
Well, the food market, we're just going to be doing like, we just have the tuning forks and some like mini tune up, kind of get people familiar with what the tools are. But it's just like a booth with crystals and rocks, and just a place to meet clients and whatnot. But the space downtown would actually be the private practice, would be its own room and
Yeah, but
space.
can the town support it?
Thus far, we've been really well received, but we've only been at this for 2 or 3 weeks, and you know, we don't know.
And then
we have no idea where it's gonna be.
winter is coming.
Yes.
Okay, and everyone leaves, right?
It's not a very lively place in the winter. I mean,
So how
there
are
are
you going to
people that
survive?
come.
How are you going to survive? You're not.
Well, I wasn't, because I was gonna stay at the job that I'm at, but it's torture for me. So I know I need to get out of there. It's just I just like do not.
Are there
I kinda
other
drag
jobs
ass.
are there other jobs at the casino you can do other than bingo caller?
To be honest, no, because everything else is around smoking, and it just messes with me so bad, headaches.
Okay.
And
Okay, I understand.
Yeah.
I get it. So you're a crux. You can't really grow where you're at. Not necessarily the space that you're in, the town that you're in. It's really going to limit your growth. But you're also at a point where you need to make money, but your body needs healing.
Yes.
You got to make a choice. What's more important?
The only thing I know to do is go back to teaching dance or something, and my body says I'm not ready.
Yes, not ready to dance 100%, but that doesn't mean you can't teach kids dance class. You don't need to be 100%er for that. Okay.
You're right.
And
you're right.
you can find the 5-year-olds to the 9-year-olds, that age group, who are just pure energy, and show them choreography and some simple stuff, and be smart with them, and say $25 a lesson, and instead of $100 a month, it's $75 a month. And you'd be surprised how many moms are going to show up. And if you have 10 kids in a class, that's $750 a month.
Oh yeah. There is just, I've lived here my whole life, and so there's a camaraderie and a community sense, and this like wanting to root and build something that could, like, you know, have a lasting effect in this community, because I love this area. But I also do feel the pull to like venture off, you know, see where it takes me.
Well, then let the kids make you some money so you can have a new vision 6 months from now.
Okay. I like that idea.
You know, you could tap into the kids and dance money, and it's not 100% body. It's just, what are you going to do when you do that first class so you don't do 100%?
Yeah.
Okay. You need to do videotaping. Videotape yourself doing some of these moves so they can take them home and practice too.
Okay.
And then they can videotape themselves and bring it to you and say, yes, you're doing it right. No, you're doing it wrong. And it gives you a tutor factor to it, because you can do that through email or just watching a video with a kid.
Okay. I like that idea. I can bring out the kid in me a little more.
Okay. And then let's say you get some kids that have already been in dance class, but really want to learn how to dance, find their rhythm. That's encouraging the person inside to come out during the dance, which you're incredible at. Okay.
Okay.
You also have a physical therapy background. You can design a dance for a child, which is to tone the body the right way. Okay. And then let's go up in age group. Let's go to the 15-year-olds, the 18-year-olds, or the 35 or 45-year-olds. Same thing. You have all the knowledge of physical therapy where you can give them dance moves that stretch muscles they never stretched before.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
Just don't make it like CrossFit. Just don't do CrossFit.
Right. It's a little too intense for me right now. Okay.
Right. Well, that'll damage the body too.
Okay.
Okay?
I'm down.
Now, the music has struck. I want to add a couple other things for you. So, how
Okay.
long ago were you diagnosed with Hashimoto's?
Just very recently, by a naturopath or homeopath chiropractic doctor who was doing muscle testing and whatnot. So, you know,
Okay,
it's
so
just
there's
that
no actual
no,
blood test or test
no,
other than muscle testing.
no.
You
I
don't
just
have
met some of
Hashimoto's.
the requirements energetically, I guess, according to her.
You don't have Hashimoto's.
Okay. Wow.
I'm
Okay.
telling you that right now. You don't have Hashimoto's. You have something else that is very similar to it, but you don't have Hashimoto's.
Okay.
You don't. I kind of
Something else
knew that
going on.
right from the beginning. There's something else going
Okay.
on there, and it's a central nervous system issue.
And I don't, you know, I don't even like identifying with the diagnosis necessarily. I'm just trying to sort out what's going on and use that to help me, you know, nutritionally or whatnot. So if I don't have that, I'm okay.
You need a
it out.
nutritional coach. You need a nutritional coach. That's what you need. Not a education background. You need someone that is going to coach you on the journey into healing. Okay? How to cook differently, and there are certain proteins you have to avoid, and then learning when to eat. Okay?
Yes. Okay.
So many people make the mistakes of eating at the wrong times. Okay?
Yes. That's me.
So yeah, maybe that's the discipline moving forward. Now, I told you about float tanks. You can go get a float tank membership, stuff like that. And then a lot of the things that I'm talking about, you can also help your boyfriend's mother with cancer also.
Okay.
Okay? A float tank for her would do her wonders if she'd ever get in.
If she'd ever get in is the key.
Right, if she'd ever get in.
Yeah.
Okay, you could talk to your boyfriend about that too.
Okay.
Okay?
Well, thank you. I appreciate
You're
it.
welcome. All right, darling, I got to let you go and move on to my next caller.
Okay. Thank you so much for the time and the wisdom.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it. Have a blessed day.
Okay. You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, Robert, let's have the last caller for the show. Let's spin that wheel of callers and see who comes up next.
Okay, that was a great call. Glenn, you are up next with Andrew.
Glenn, are you there?
Yes. Hi, Andrew. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Where are you calling from today?
Sydney in Australia.
Sydney, Australia. Welcome to the show. What did you want to talk about today?
Yeah, well, I've been listening to your show. My partner introduced me to this show, and I've been following more of a spiritual path the last few years, and getting my head across how I can better myself. I would like perhaps a reading about what my purpose is here and how where I've been before now. I spoke to a couple of different astrologists who said the same thing. I've been somewhere else for 1,000 years before this life, and then I've got a couple of other questions which I'm having a bit of.
Okay, so you're kind of really looking as like what's the purpose and what's the points going forward.
Yeah, and then some practical points because I'm having quite a lot of legal issues at the moment that just don't seem to be going away.
What kind of legal issues?
Litigation, and there's been some other more serious issues as well that I've been through, which are over now, but it seems like there's more popping up. And
all right. So tell me about what's going on, because this is obviously taking up a lot more of your energy space than you're even aware, because your energy is just draining talking about it.
Well, I just find it hard to move on. Yeah. Well, I understand cause and effect. And what I did before was I was working in a mining company. And I think potentially I picked up a lot of bad karma there. I realize now it wasn't a great industry, and the people as well that were all involved lot of parasitical
Okay.
type of people. And so,
Are you being sued, or are these criminal charges?
oh, both, all from the same period. I'm being sued. Someone took over the company, and he's this ex-military guy, and he's just fixated with me. He's been attacking me for over 3 or 4 years now, civilly, and he managed to actually get the police to charge me of some offences which are just right out lies. And I'm waiting. I have to deal with that as well. At the same time, the civil case is going on, and I can't seem to move on with my life as well as I.
Were you an owner in the mine?
Yeah, I was a large shareholder of the company.
Okay. Did you actually work the mine itself?
No, we weren't really mining. We were more exploring, but I did help on some drilling programs, drilling into the earth, and some minor digging, but we were more exploration with a view of developing some big mines. Yeah.
Do you miss doing it?
No, I do. I'm a bit broke now, so I miss money a bit. But I don't. I do have a new focus, which is ocean farming, and I think that's a good way forward. And that's what I need. I need to break through, concentrate on what I think doesn't do any harm, and like things I've done before. It took me a long time to realize I should concentrate on what can I do, and I set on ocean farming, and we have a company in its infancy that we're working on, but with everything else going on in the background, I just think, when's that going to end? Is this ever going to?
Well, the first thing first is you've got to reclaim your power from this person that's having civil litigation against you. And if that person has gone off the deep end and having criminal charges that are really ignoramus, real charges, you have to sit down with your lawyer and you have to hit back. If you don't hit back and hit back serious, he will not stop. Now, there's always the fear if you hit back, he hits back harder. That's inevitable with his personality. He's already shown it. You got to stand up. You got to stand up with your law team and start quashing these lawsuits, finding ways to quashing. You really don't have the money to work with the lawyers now, do you?
Yeah, that's always a problem. I do have one lawyer who's helping me out, who's a friend, but he's also playing the tactic, don't hit back. We'll see how things go now because we can buy some time. But in the back of my head, I feel like I should be fighting. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, biding time is fighting a different way. But I don't know where your case is, and I'm not giving you case advice. I'm giving you energy advice right now. There are other ways to hit back that aren't through the law, and that's energy-wise, where you do a ritual and ceremony that cuts your cords in every dimension, time, stream, galaxy, and universe with everything to do with that project, and give the karma back to the owners now, because you're not an owner anymore, are you?
No.
Or are you? That's not your karmic response.
Yeah, I can't. I still have some shares in this company, but not a whole lot. And I don't think
can you sell them?
Perhaps I could transfer them to someone, but I'd have to have someone that would want to take them.
And do they have value?
No, not currently. It could be argued that could be worth something.
What, 20 years from now?
Yeah. Well, I think this guy that took over the company, he's destroyed it now anyway. And what he's trying to do is attack me because...
Okay, then get rid of him. You aren't waiting 20 years for a payback and having an energetic attachment to you that is draining life force from you.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, okay. I'll do that.
Get rid of it. Get rid of it. Okay? This is called cutting the cords. It's the greater situation that you're in by giving less avenues of entry for energy to come and affect you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll definitely do that. That's one thing. And doing a lot more research and, I understand cause and effect completely, but I do have an inkling perhaps there's some other energies at work or malefic entities.
Absolutely, they're malefic entities coming from the person that took over the mine. Yeah, because he doesn't know how to be a miner, and he has the very negative energies of the land are ruling him.
And perhaps I've picked up something in the past as well. I mean, this is pretty recent, and I've had problems before him. Living a life with a lot of partying and all that sort of thing when I was younger. I'm 30. I just turned 39. But yeah, bad relationship choices. I've identified what's been going on in my life, but I do, and talking to other people and in medicine groups, which I've been partaking in lately.
And how is this helping you?
Yeah, I've had some really great breakthroughs. I do think I should go further into it. I've tried Aya a couple of times, but I'm a little bit scared about going too deep. I prefer like San Pedro or perhaps mushrooms. But they're great people as well to surround yourself with when you go to these retreats, and that's been helping. I think that's been helping with my development. Plus, a lot of reading that I've done on various spiritual texts, Buddhist and Hindu, that type of thing, which interests me a lot. Plus, I do Tai Chi, and I've been slack lately. And I know I need to get back and do some more. I've been doing a little bit again, but I didn't do anything hardly for 6 months. And
you ever do any bicycling?
Yeah, I do. I ride my mountain bike. That's
how often are you riding it?
No, not often enough. It's a great bike too. I should get out there more.
Okay. Have you ever seen those motors that they just add to any decent mountain bike frame and it makes it a semi-motorized bike?
Yeah, I have, but mine's like, it's a bit too good to put one of those motors on. Because
there's ones that goes on cheap bikes too. There's a variety of qualities out there. I want you to just look back into that stuff. And before you jump into ocean farming, which is a gigantic mega project, it's not something you can do small. And unless you're going to have the investment background, you're going to waste a lot of your creative time. You need to work on smaller budget projects so that you can get some successes under your belt. Because I think there's a big product for you to import into the Australia market that has to do with cycling or any of the other sports stuff that you do that you can make money on fast. I think you have more potential in being your own salesman just by using your research and finding the right products and getting distributor lines. Okay?
Okay. Something in retail.
Not necessarily retail. The service industry. You can even be selling software. Okay? They could even be selling ayahuasca retreats. Okay?
Yeah.
You gotta make yourself some money so that you can pay your lawyers, because this stuff's not going to go away for you. Yeah, I'm just telling you, you maybe even need to put your spiritual journey on hold a little bit while you decide how much money I can make without selling my soul to the corporate world. I think if you go down the journey of not enough money to last you, it's going to severely disrupt you. And rounds of depression are going to become very common.
Yeah, that's I have been, even a couple of things you mentioned, even my partner wants me to help her with potentially selling a health food product, and we could do that together. I haven't thought about something in the sporting industry, but I was thinking more about being involved directly with these retreats. At the same time, I've got the seaweed company I did come with. It is in its infancy, and we did manage to get some small government funding, and I have a friend that's doing a lot of the work.
But you're not doing the work though.
Not a lot, but
No.
the one thing I was thinking about doing on the side is trying to just trade some seaweed we have, which isn't coming from us. I have a separate supplier, and I was looking into. So it's interesting. It's very intuitive, because I do think I should just be buying and selling something. That's what I'm getting at.
Yes. Buying. You should be having a commodity, your little commodities department, where you buy and sell and make money off of the trades.
Yeah,
Okay.
I do some trading as well, and that was pretty well.
No, you really got to be worried about the stock market. I'm talking like you can buy bulk seaweed, you can buy all sorts of stuff, bring it in and learn how to sell it to the stores or put it into your distribution market at a right price. Yeah. There are health food products that normally never make it to Australia, and you find the right ones that are, and you're going to make gold on one shipment.
Okay.
It's just knowing what can't get into is not getting in for whatever reason, and learning how to get the distributor rights to it and labeling.
Yeah.
Okay, there's products that just need to be relabeled to get into Australia.
Yeah, I did start actually looking at a few products that were good, but then with everything going on, it was a bit daunting as well, having to put a brand together. Something stopped me in my tracks, and now that you say that, I did have.
That stopped you in your tracks.
Yeah, really. If I didn't have that going on, I'd be able to concentrate more on these great ideas.
So my next advice for you is, I know you're short on money, but you need somebody to act as somebody to get the anger out of you. You need somebody to be a sparring partner. And this is where I'm going to recommend you go and find somebody that's a Brazilian jiu-jitsu teacher, so you can learn mat skills, rolling around on the mat and submissions. Because right now there's a tremendous amount of pent-up anger, whether you admit it's there or not. I feel it in you, relating to these lawsuits and all the other shit that went on in your life.
Yeah, that's true. And I do Tai Chi, but it does take a lot of patience.
It's not. You need a give and take spar exchange.
Yeah, okay? My partner mentioned that. She's very switched on. She mentioned capoeira. So.
Yeah, capoeira would be very good too, because you need your dance partner with it too. Capoeira would be very good. Brazilian jiu-jitsu is going to get that anger, that deep anger out of you, because it's submission based, rolling around and getting guard position and submitting the person, or taking their arms and their legs away and just basically holding them in a position until they pass out.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so those are all things that you need to do to fortify your reality. Now, your Aya journeys and stuff, if you don't want to go deep, don't do Aya anymore. The only reason to take Aya is to go deep. Aya is not a toe in the water drug experience at all. Okay? I've seen Aya fuck up more people than it's helped people at times. Okay? Because they can't surrender. Okay? You're at a state where you just can't surrender. You've got too much going on in your life. Okay? I would actually tell you to take a break on any of the medicine journeys for the next 3 months, 4 months. Okay? And then if you go back, do every other or every third month, preferably every third month. Don't do it every month. Okay?
Okay.
And don't make it your religion.
No.
Too many people make the terrible mistake where they make medicine their religion. It'll never be your religion. It will always backfire in that position. Okay.
That's good advice. What about the idea of having a guru that gets that in line, or seeking some guidance? That can easily lead to some sort of religious fever, can't it?
I'll be blunt with you. If you find a guru, you're going to give away a lot of your real power. You've been person that has done your work, why would you give the work to someone else to do for you?
Yeah, that's interesting.
There are things that you just have to figure out for yourself. And yes, a guru can help you figure them out through their lens of perception.
Mm.
This is why so many people that have known me for so long, they call me the anti-guru guru. I want you all to do it yourself, and here's a blueprint, and for you to take my blueprint away and just see the blueprint of what you actually need to do to make success.
Mm.
Okay? That's why the Living the Mystical Life Daily Course was so successful for so many swaths of people, because it's about rediscovering the joy of prayer and how it expands your seen and unseen world, learning equal co-creation, non-competition, non-hierarchical order as your daily rounds of living, making that your emanation. Well, you're at the same journey where you've got to emanate the vast quantities of creativity and stored energies you have in yourself so that you attract the right people and business partners.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So you got to redesign, you've got to learn to channel the spirit of your business. That's my best advice for you. Channel the spirit of your business. You have a lot of abundance. You have a lot of abundance, physical abundance that'll convert into dollars if you just start doing things, taking a little bit of risk. Right now, you're afraid to pull the trigger.
Yeah, that's true. The thought pattern I had to choose something that growing seaweed, it really does no harm at all. I'm not ready to start growing, but perhaps I could start trading some now
Right.
while the legwork's
Right.
being done on the side.
Right. And learn the industry in a different way.
I grew up near the water, and that's one of the other reasons. Like anything to do with the water really draws me in. Can you suggest any supplications to any particular water spirits or something like that tied to the business as well?
That's natural. If you're going to be doing a daily practice around the water is going to have lots of words to speak to you. And you got to create those prayers that mean something to you. You really got to put some educated spiritual joy and effort, or what I call true enthusiastic effort, around creating those prayers, writing them down, practicing them, revising them so that they sound right to you, that they connect to you in that moment.
Yeah, that's raw. That's good. I did start doing mantras over the last few years, and I found that quite useful.
Yeah, very beneficial. Just replace them with your new ones about giving thanks and blessings to the water, the sea life that's in there, or so on and so forth. You got to get into that rhythm of prayer.
Okay, that's great.
Hey, brother, I gotta let you go and move on. Thank you so much for calling.
Thanks so much. I've written it all down. Yeah, thank you so much for your time. It was great. I'll be listening to your show more too. Thank you.
All right, take it easy. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.
All right, Robert, that has been a special show. I want to invite everyone to come to our retreat October 11th through the 14th on the Grand Island of Barbados at the Naniki facility. There you'll be joined by Chris Chappell. You'll be learning a long-form Tai Chi, having specialized adjustments and working with the Universal Healing Systems healing system. All right, everyone, thanks a lot, and we'll catch you on this next coming Thursday.
Hello, my name is Chris Ray Chappell, and I'm going to be teaching in Aniki, Barbados from the 11th of October for 3 days, an intensive on Hunyuan primordial Qigong. This is a classical energy work set, which is primarily meant to open up all of the energy pathways of the body and to actually get you into your essence. Now, the idea of this set is it's going to open every single joint, muscle, every bit of connective tissue, the sinews, the organs, the spine, access the blood flow to the brain, creating a homeostasis. Now, Qigongs classically are meant for either health, power development and strength, and often for meditation. So the application of this set is broad ranging. So I'd like to welcome you there. Hopefully you can make it for the 3 days. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to enjoy teaching it and sharing what I have and to see who turns up. So I'd like to see you there. Thanks very much. Bye.
Baby Steps for Adults, Drug Abuse. What is drug addiction? Am I an addict? Who does drug addiction really harm? They can hurt your sense of judgment, decision-making, memory, and ability to learn. They can hurt your loved ones and so many others around you. Drug addiction is a disease which can be cured. Our Baby Steps program can provide the information you and your family need to overcome this illness. Online access to professionals working in the field of addiction, webinars and group counseling for those battling this addiction, full instruction to help you first understand this disease and how to cope with it. Join us today. We're here to help. Baby Steps for Adults, Codependency. I can't live with or without you. I just want to look good for you. I would do anything for you. All popular words to famous songs. But guess what? They all indicate someone in a codependent relationship. Codependency is an addiction to another human being. You will see a strong relationship between codependency and negative physical side effects, which can manifest in violence towards your spouse or partner. If you're in a codependent relationship, you may need help. Join us today and free yourself from this addiction. Baby steps for adults, sexual abuse. Sexual abuse is a real problem in our societies. Every year, thousands of children are abused. These children constitute the most vulnerable members of our society. However, sexual abuse is also a real problem among our adult population. It can be violent and unwanted within family groups, as well as extreme harassment at the workplace. We can help. With online access to trained professionals working with victims of abuse and sexual assault, webinars and group counseling for those suffering from the trauma and struggling to make sense of their lives, full instruction to help you overcome the trauma and how to detect and assist other victims. Protect yourself and your loved ones. Join us today. Baby steps for adults, communication. Hey there. Are you reading this? Do you understand me? Oh, great. Then we're communicating. So what is good communication? Expressing exactly how you feel. Being personal and one-on-one. A simple touch or gesture of love. And what is poor communication? Screaming and shouting. Belittling others. Violence or verbal abuse. Would you like to learn to be an effective communicator? Join us today. Oh, bye now.
Each different bubble of reality is true.
A galactic historian is a person that looks at all the lines of dramatic karma.
Nudge, nudge, it's the Holy Grail.
Improvise. Mysterious.
It's counter psychic intelligence.
Why is DNA farming of this star cluster so important?
Because we do manifest our reality. We do create our reality.